all right, so I'm having this full circle moment. Bear with me because there's been a lot of like different information that's coming at me. So all right, so it's hard to think of like how to nutshell like the world that we're living in or like the type of generation or whatever, but it's like it feels like oversaturation. It's like it feels like overstimulation of like information, content, people, like it's overload. That's like the word that's coming to me. And so, and yet it's like, and it's hella distractive, but that is on the other part, I guess, is that it's this constant like way to keep you afloat, or like way to like find things to distract you, or to like to keep you from I'm trying to like let it settle. Like, okay, so there's like different things that are coming to me. So it's like I had this full circle moment where it's like ancestral, in that our ancestors helped to create this world for us. And so, and like we're here living it regardless. And so it's like I try to even remember, you know, when things are taken from you, it does teach you gratitude. If you're in poverty, it teaches you, there's so many things about being in these different situations that are difficult and trying that really teach us what is truly important to you, and like what is a gift. And even having these phones and everything, and the way that we're able to like do so many things through that. And like that's just one thing that for me that I try to remember to be grateful for, because there's just it's so wild, because the illusions are just so crazy, it seems like, in this world. It's so weird how sometimes all of the emails come in at the same time. Like, because there's so much connection to people, and like you can easily get validation on things, it's this constant illusion of like people are safe, or like it's not just it's not that people are safe, that is what came to me, but like that, or that everyone is safe, or that everyone is your friend. And that's not, then once you start doing healing work, and you realize that you don't really know what someone's other intentions are. And it's wild, because to me now it's like I don't want to say the wrong thing. It's like you start to see, once you come back to yourself and you gain that strength within, that it's like, even if you got caught in something and it was like someone kind of created this environment that was like the perfect like sense of like goodness and security, and you really got caught up in it, that it's like it's still just a lesson, and that doesn't make that person evil. But it also teaches you, you know, like that you don't want to be around people that want to pull you into a web of lies, that just want to create illusions to keep you stuck. Because you feel like the spider in the web type of thing, because I'm just using that web analogy. But there's so much of that in the world that we're living in. There's so much of this like illusory energy, and this these ideas of this perfection that it's not that you can't create that, but it's like but we have to discern for ourselves, and we have to. So the last part I guess I want to put in this is that when you like let it go, when you let things go and like you give it to God and you give it to, like, you're like, okay, I got caught up in this. I don't know what happened. I'm scared. I don't know how I'm gonna like do all these things. Like for me and like there's moments of that still with me and my kid and stuff like that. Like whatever it is that you're moving through. And because even with like relationships, because if you started out with chaos in your childhood or like unstable relationships, and you realize that you keep recreating that, and you're like, okay, well, I don't know who's safe and who isn't, or something like that. Because like we can be fake nice to each other, and it is so hard to be vulnerable. It's so hard to be honest, because then you have to learn how to discern, am I giving more than this other person? Like there's so much to relationships that it's amazing that we're in a time that we can like break it down and try to understand it in a deeper way, and maybe it's all meant to be, because then we can attract our tribe and that kind of thing. But like that in between part is so hard and messy and painful and scary. So giving this stuff, giving it up, giving it to God, it is like a safety net in a way. It's sort of like you realize that so much of it, even though it's so hard and painful, and like, why do we have to learn so much the hard way as humans? It's like, because now, like, I walked away, I had to retract so much of my energy to be able to like just keep going. And I stopped doing all this posting on social media, and it's given me all these different perspective shifts, which have been really cool. But it's brought me to this full circle moment of like, it's showing me who is really, I was going to say true fan, not about fans. It's like who is truly like genuine and who really wants to be, I can't find the right words, because it's not just being caring. It's like appreciating. Like that when we like get out of our ego, it's like, of course it makes sense. I don't appreciate everyone. It's not that I don't appreciate people as a whole, but like we can't hold that capacity to like value every single person. But it's scary when you get caught up in situations and you're having to learn lessons that you're not attracting the people that value you. If you're not attracting the people that are going to appreciate you, it's like there's something with that where it's just like it's almost like it's like a hard reset, where it's like you just have to pull your energy back, give it to God, and be like, I want to be with the people that care about me. I want to be with the people that I feel safe with. I want to be with the people that want to grow with me, like whatever those things are. Because social media, it's like, it's so amazing. It's like, it is amazing in a lot of ways, but it's like, because I think there's something separate that I really want to speak about with women, because it's like protecting our energy is such a valuable thing that we need to learn, that I think a lot of us have had to learn the hard way, that we didn't understand dating and like the game and games that men play and how painful that is. And also having to face the things that you may have been doing that were playing games, and then like posting on social media, and it's like you're like, how would you describe it? It's like, okay, baby, in just a minute. It's like it's not throwing yourself to the wolves necessarily, because it's so much of it is intention, but it's like you're putting yourself out in the world, so you have to accept whatever criticism you get. You have to accept whatever backlash you get. You have to accept, you don't have it. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you have to accept it. You don't have a choice. Like, it's going to come at you and you don't know how it's going to be. And so there's so much of that that's like can hurt later on if you don't protect your energy, if you don't have a loving intention or a grateful intention. Because at least for me, it's like realizing the hard way that like the amount of availability, this like free content, there's so many of us that like, or there's so many people that just take advantage of that. And it's fine. It's not about tit for tat, but it's like, it will suck you dry. It will make you feel unappreciated if you feel like there's just people that are just want to use your energy. And, cause there's always that part, I think, of a woman that's like, we want to feel special. We want to feel appreciated. And I'm sure that's the same for men, but we just created this culture where men have so much availability. Like, that's what I mean. It's like, there's so much of that out there that like a lot of people are just just going after the free content, and they don't appreciate you in another way. And I think that can be you can get yourself caught up in that, and it's it's scary. To me, that's how it came off, it gets to this place of like, I don't know who's real, who's genuine. I don't know who to trust. And so that's what I mean about it. It's like, if you have people in your corner who you know are genuine and that appreciate you, and you have like your head on straight about it, you have, you're putting loving intention, it's like there's purpose in it or whatever, then you probably won't get caught in that. But I always think of like the ocean analogy, because it's like, can you ride the waves without getting sucked into the undercurrent? It's like that type of thing, because there's so much vulnerability, I think, when a woman starts to take her power back. Thank you. Wow. Okay. When a woman starts to take her power back and like own her body. And there were so many times when I was like putting myself out there, and there was times when it was coming from a loving place and a feeling empowered. And there was times where it was like seeking validation and not being able to discern that difference. And then also, regardless, you're getting whatever people want to say, because we live in a world where it's like, there's so much, that's what I mean. There's so much availability. People can DM you, and it's like, you just don't know what you're creating. If you don't have a strong sense of who you are, or you don't have those people in your life who are in your corner, you can get sucked in the undercurrent, I guess. It's like, it's so, but it's just weird, because it's like, I think that I kind of like had, like, there was all the dances and stuff was like self-expression for me in a lot of ways, but obviously a lot of it was very sexual, and I was like really pushing the boundaries. And I had this whole like thing come to me about like how it's like sex versus spirituality, and we have this like, we're trying to like figure it out, and we're living in a time where there's so much like, there's been so much liberation for women through all this. And it's like, that's what I mean. Like, there's this illusion of like, it is freeing in a way, but like, you can't, it's duality. Like, you can't just do whatever you want to do and like have freedom without consequence, I guess is what it is. 'Cause it's like, I don't know, like there's just like these laws of nature that we can't just bypass. And so I think it's human nature to like push the boundaries and flirt with these lines and try to figure it out and try to dissect it and like all these things. Like, it's just how we are. But it's like, you're putting people can just take any of those stuff that I put out there and do whatever they want with it. And that's where it's like, you have to, and I mean, a lot of us probably will just realize the hard way that it's like, that's a part of you that you don't get back. Like, it's not sacred anymore. Thank you. I couldn't find the right words, because I don't regret a lot of that. To me, like I said, a lot of it was self-expression, and a lot of it was like from a place of empowerment, but it takes the sacredness out of it when you're putting it out into the world, and the world can just, that it is like throwing it to the wolves. It's like throwing it to the snake pit and just letting people do whatever they want with it. And so I think as a woman, we have to like be careful and be wary and protect your energy and know what you're getting yourself into if you can, because that's time and energy and a part of you that you can't get back. And there's always that part of a woman that wants to be, and maybe not every woman like wants to be worshipped. It may not be that, but it's like there's always that part of us that wants to be seen as precious, as special. And that's such a hard thing as a woman in this world, because there aren't going to be a lot of people who see you that way. There's going to be a lot of people who just see you as an object or whatever. And like, you can't change that, and we have to just accept it. But the more that you put yourself out there in the world, especially in a vulnerable place where you're like showing off your body, you're dancing, it's sexual, like you can't bypass the laws of nature that men and the world is just going to create whatever ideas they want to about it and put you in a box or whatever it is. So the gifts that we're given are also curses, I guess, is like always what it comes back to. All right, I've been talking for a long time. You got to protect what's sacred to you. It's like there's just a lot of these things that you realize it's like we don't have control over, and you can't control someone else's perspective of you or how they treat you even. And so if you find yourself caught in a place that's very painful, surrendering it is like, well, it may not in that moment, but it will come back around to show you like what you need to see. All right. I love you guys so much.